Hey everybody, in this video I'll be going over how to do a local setup on Windows for CS340 with Docker. If you don't know what Docker is, it doesn't really matter for this because you'll find out later in a different course, or you can on your own come to Docker, look at the documentation, figure out what's going on. But anyways, what you're gonna need to do first is install Docker Desktop on Windows. So I already have it installed, so you just want to come here to this link, click download, save as, and then run it. But again, I already have Docker. Let me just open it up because you are going to need to have it running before the next step of this. So bear with me. Like I thought I had this all set up ready to go to record, and I didn't even open Docker. Rookie mistake, really. All right, so I got Docker over here. Bring it over to my other monitor. There we go. We got Docker running, starting the engine. Because before we get into the next steps here, we want to make sure that the Docker engine is running. And I have not updated to the latest, but I'll worry about that later after the video. All right. So as you can see, I already have a couple images or containers for CS340. So we're gonna go ahead and this is started. This is good. The engine is running, as you can see. So now we can go on the next step. Next step is to go to my Docker container for MongoDB, and it's located at hub.docker.com/r/moonlitalter/cs340. It is also pinned in the SNHU Discord. If you're not in there, I recommend getting in there because a lot of people are very helpful if you're stuck and not finding the proper resources. So what I'm going to do is we're also going to need PowerShell. So PowerShell open or command prompt, whatever you want to do here. So I am going to, I don't need to log in here. So what we're going, oh, hello. Yeah, actually, I kind of did. Kind of did need that open. I didn't need to sign up. Why is it doing sign up though? I didn't want to sign up. I just want to run stuff. Okay. So, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I don't think you need to actually. I don't think where you're at system wise matters. No, I don't want to do CDF. I want to do CD. Cool. Yeah. So CD slash, I get CD home, and then I'll just do it. I'll just do it in the C drive for me. I don't think it. Again, I don't think it matters exactly where you pull it. But what you can do here, as you got on both screens, we're just gonna copy and paste, go line by line. We're gonna get the container first, paste it in, and run it. So I'm pulling this container, and that is good. We don't get any errors. So once we have pulled the container, we can do Docker run to get the container going here. And then it's important here is that you want the only thing you need to change in this line is the container name. So we take that out, and I'm just do CS340. I'm just gonna name it CS340 for now. You can, it's personal preference, whatever you want to name, it's fine. So I'm gonna enter that. So basically, I'm creating this container based off that name, and we can see over in Docker Desktop if it'll come to the front for me, we can see what. Hey, did my taskbar lock up? Yeah, sure did. All right, I'm alt tabbing it, baby. All right, so as you can see, is it created this container for CS330, and it's currently running. So that's good. And also, what you can do is if you click on this container, you go into files. So this right here is the logs to let you know what's going on. You can come here to run things, to run commands, or you go to files here, and it shows you all the files in the system. I've already loaded the files for this so that you can follow the instructions from the resource pages and the prompts for each week. Because I think it's a user, where is it? User local not there. User local data sets, if my memory is correct. It has been a while. Yes, user local data sets, and you have in here all these files that you're going to need throughout the course. Okay, so we're going to come back over here and continue. Just wanted to show you that. Now we're going to run the we're gonna run this command to get the container going in PowerShell. Just for simplicity, I'm gonna keep it running from here since we have PowerShell open. Oh, and you want to change the container name to whatever you did. So I did CS340. So basically, so now we're a root user in the Linux shell in this container right now. That's going on in PowerShell. Again, you could run commands from Docker itself. I'll show you that later. So next step here, we're going to copy user add, and we're going to want to you have to do Control Shift V because technically we're in Linux and Control V doesn't work after a certain point. So your name at SNHU, it's the same. I usually follow the same format as what the actual school virtual machine has it as, but it doesn't matter as long as it's your name. So like Matt SNHU is what my username will be. So that will add your username as an account here. So that's done. That's good. And then we're gonna do password. I'm not gonna copy that because I can type it at this point. So I'm on the next step over here. Can I spell this morning? Holy jeez, I need some coffee. So I just put in the second line of password and my name, and it's going to ask you for a password. I'm going to put password in. It's not going to show you what's going on. Just for simplicity, obviously you want a good password. Retype it. So password updated successfully. So now we're going to switch users to Matt at SNHU. Okay, so now I'm connected to my user account in the shell. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the source file here. So run that. So I think that's right. I think it's a little right. And then we're going to set the source. So basically what this does is this writes this creates the Mongo environment text that's from the virtual machine, puts it in the bash, so that every time you run a terminal, every time you start the terminal in this Linux container, it'll run that text file for the Mongo environment. Oh, it looks like my taskbar started working again. Thank you for that. So now we've just basically reloaded that bash script, so that this will work. So now next thing we want to do is we are going to change our directory, just like change our directory to the data sets, because I have a couple extra files in there to try to mimic the VM as much as possible. So we're just going in, copying and pasting again. That's CP, right? Yeah, copy. All right, so now we want to connect to the Mongo shell. So that's Mongosh. I don't need to copy and paste that. So now that we're in the shell, we are going to change the user password for root, okay? Because right now, I don't even remember I don't know if there's actually a password to start off with. Again, I think if you look at the top of this, it's been 6 months since I've done this. So we're gonna do password. You can do anything you want. You can do you could do an actual secure, one, beep, 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 something like that. But if you don't want to punish yourself, you can do like password 1 or something. Like, I mean, granted, you want something a little secure, but just for future sake. So now we've changed the password for root. The password for root to password. And we're gonna exit. So we're exiting back to we're out of the Mongo shell and we're on our user account, which is mine's Matt at SNHU. We're gonna exit one more time to the root user, and then we're gonna do we're gonna go back to that datasets folder as the root user, and we're going to open that MongoDB environment file. This is where it's important. is that it has up here, we have localhost. Oh, I already have it set as passwords. So you want to make it really easy. You don't have to do this step. So this is the environment file that it grabs this data and exports it so that every time you run Mongo, it's reading off of this, or if you're importing anything, it's reading off that. So typically, if you change the password from password to something else, you're gonna want to change it right here. So if you did some crazy, like, actually secure whatever, you want to put that here for the password and then save it. But since I changed the password and it's already password, we're cool. We're good there. So I'm going to do Control S to save it. And you can see down there on the bottom of this terminal, it says wrote 6 lines. That's fine. So Control S, Control X to exit. And then next thing is we're going to go back to our user. So SU Matt SHU. Did I do underscore? I think I did. So we'll go back to my user folder. We're going to go back to the Mongo shell. We're going to go down, and this is just to confirm that you can connect. So it connects as admin. Yeah, I can't remember everything else, but that's good. So once we're in here, we're all set. And then what I can do is I want to exit completely from the Docker container. So I'm completely exit. I'm back to normal. This bit is for later in the course when you get into the Jupyter and all that stuff. So I'm going to copy and paste that. So this is going to install. I think I have everything installed for this. We're about to find out. But these are the specific versions to match the virtual machine. Because if you have updated versions of these, because if you were to install these normally, you wouldn't be able to run certain things that they provide you correctly because the updated versions basically break everything. So that's gonna install that, and afterwards, I think it's just Jupyter Notebook to run it. Can't remember the specifics on this, on how to run the Jupyter terminal, but from here, this was I added this module for business if people are getting errors. Yeah, to start Jupyter Notebook, it is Jupyter Notebook. So basically, you just want to let this run. I don't need to do a whole video on this because this might take a bit to install everything, and everything should install correctly. If you do get errors, reach out to me, and I will create a new video or an amended video on what the solution is for that. But obviously, if the rest of my documentation here is if you're getting errors, make sure that your Python interpreter path is correct. It should look like something like this on Windows, for example. Or I'm gonna have to look in the next video I'm gonna do is going to be Mac and Linux related. So this is going to be a little different for the interpreter, and I'll discover those errors in the future. But also I'm gonna do a follow-up video for this to make sure that everything is running related to week 3 or 4 and on when it comes to Python and all that. But yeah, that's it. And then again, once module 4 hits, you'll already have Jupyter Notebook installed, and you just run Jupyter Notebook in the terminal console here to get it to run. And that is it. So yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out to me and I will do my best to answer them.